What's up, everyone? This is Bacon here, and today we are doing a video on Lucretia the Betrayed. You can see here that she is a hypogene hero. She has a lot of purple, which that normally means she's a hypogene. That's just kind of how it goes. She is a agility-based hero, which means she does physical damage, and she can equip agility-based gear. She is a ranger in companions. That doesn't matter. I've said that before. And then she's an assassin. That is her role. So during this video, I'm going to have her classic version stats kind of to the left so you can kind of compare and contrast. I have looked it over, and there really aren't a lot of huge changes between her in classic and companions. However, there is one change that looks like with her Twin Terrors passive. Looks like the 4th level has just been completely removed from the game. I've not seen it yet. I don't think it is part of the divine effects or signature items. So that's just giving you a heads up with that. But let's just go ahead and take a look at her ultimate skill. So the first time Lucretia uses her ultimate skill, she absorbs her 2 revolving skulls and transforms her for the remainder of the battle. While transformed, Lucretia's life leech is increased by 40, and her energy recovery rate is increased by 50%. Subsequent uses of her ultimate skill deal damage equal to 280% of her attack rating to nearby enemies. And then as you get to 2 and 3, the damage just kind of goes up a little bit with her bottom percentages here. So that is her ultimate. Basically with Lucretia, you want to get her to the point where she can pop her ultimate off, and then as the round progresses as her allies start to die, she gets buffs as well. But when she gets that ultimate, that first ultimate, that's when her kind of first level of just kind of popping off. So let's go ahead and look at her next ability, Death Wish. Lucretia marks enemy with the highest attack rating and hunts them until they die. And the target's damage is reduced by 30% while being hunted. If the enemy formation includes Zephyriel, Lucretia prioritizes Zephyriel above all other enemies. My assumption is this some sort of lore thing. This is the first hero in companions, I believe, where they specifically target a hero. Obviously, this is something that's really not that important unless Zephyriel starts appearing in campaign all the time, or if you're in a really pay-to-win position and Zephyriel is in arena, and Lucretia would obviously be a hard counter to that. But besides that, that's really not that important, this component. The part that she focuses, the unit with the highest attack rating, that is great. That's a great ability. So at level 2, damage to a hunted enemy is increased by 40% during the hunting phase. At level 3, reduces damage Lucretia receives by 20% for the first 5 seconds of the hunting phase. And then at level 4, unlocks Death Wish skill upgrade. And this is part of the divine effect. Reduces damage Lucretia receives by 20% for the first 7 seconds of the hunting phase. As you can see, not a lot of differences between companions and classic with this one as well. Now, Hellfire, flames encircle Lucretia for 10 seconds, dealing damage equal to 60% of her attack rating every half a second to nearby enemies. Enemies affected by Lucretia's flames have their defense ratings decreased by 15% for 2 seconds. This can be stacked. Damage increased to 70%, so the 60% here reduces the damage Lucretia receives while the flames are present to 30%. This is slightly better than the classic version of the game, and then damage is increased to 90%. This is basically a nice way to lower enemies' defense as she's hunting them. And, she does kind of crank out some extra damage through this as well, but I think the big thing here is the combination of increased damage, decreased enemies' defense, kind of gives you a double whammy. And then her passive, Twin Terrors, when positioned on the front line, the Skull of Treachery is activated, increasing Lucretia's dodge by 50 points and tenacity by 20 points. When positioned on the back line, the Skull of Destruction is activated, increasing Lucretia's attack speed by 15 points and crit damage amplification by 30 points. Both effects simultaneously activate after Lucretia uses her ultimate for the first time. When on the front line, activating the Skull of Treachery increases Lucretia's dodge by 70 points and tenacity by 30. And when on the back line, activating it increases by 25 points and crit damage. So basically, you're going to get both of these kind of buffs once she gets her ultimate off. So you don't have to worry too much about like that. The big thing is what positioning is going to give her the best chance of surviving. And I think it really depends on the team you're going against, because obviously if you're on the front line, you get that nice dodge and tenacity buff, but you're on the front line, you're going to be a tankier, you're going to be prioritized by the enemy. And so it depends on how bursty the enemy team is. They might not be able to kill you quick enough, and so it's worth getting that extra buff at the beginning. While if you're in the back line, you just are going to do more damage. Higher attack speed means you'll get your ultimate off faster. Pros and cons, but this is very situational where you put her. And honestly, as long as she survives and gets her ult off, that's kind of the end goal as far as this ability goes. Now, let's go ahead and take a look at her signature item. Lucretia gains 150 energy every second for 5 seconds when a non-summoned allied hero dies for the first time. At level 10, Lucretia's attack rate is increased by 30% for 20 seconds when a allied hero dies. Basically, this means it's just you can't use like Mishka's Wolves. That won't give her the buff. It has to be an ally hero. This effect can be stacked. Time durations for the stacked effects are calculated individually. Lucretia's haste is increased by 8 points for 20 seconds when a non-summoned ally hero dies. This effect can be stacked. Time duration for the stacked effects are calculated individually. Lucretia's attack rating is increased by 50% for 20 seconds when a non-summoned ally dies. This effect can be blah, blah, blah. You get the picture. Basically, every time a hero ally dies, she's going to get stronger. And that is her, as I've said a lot of times with other heroes, that's her bread and butter. The longer the battle lasts, the more of her allies die, the stronger she gets. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you just want to put like your trash heroes and let them die instantly, because there are other perks of having your other heroes out there. But it is a nice little treat or a little bonus for her. As you know, basically, naturally, your heroes are going to die. She's going to naturally get stronger. So, unlocks Death Wish skill upgrade. Let's go ahead and take a look. I think it is this one. Yep, so this is just the 1 star. She gets this one. Buff at 2. After Lucretia uses her ultimate 1 time, the flames from Hellfire are enhanced. Enemies that are damaged by the flames have their energy recovery rates reduced by 50%. And then after she uses it twice, the flames from Hellfire are enhanced and the flames no longer disappear. So they go on forever. Enemies damaged by the flames will be unable to use their ultimate for a short duration. I like this skill a lot. I don't know if getting her to 5 stars is 100% necessary, because that is a pretty hefty investment to get her that high. I think 1 star is for sure important. 3 star. I mean, I think Lucretia getting to that 1 star point is probably going to be huge. 3 and 5 are going to be nice little bonuses, but I'm not totally sure if you need to get her that high. I think if she was a regular hero, I'd say sure, get her to 5 star. But because she is a hypogene, I think it's just harder to get her to 5 star. And so 1 star, I think, would be fine. And then let's also take a look at her skin, because she does have a skin on release. Not my favorite skin, honestly. I just think her kind of default is pretty cool. And one thing I noticed is her feet are like these little like talon claw things. She's like a little bird woman. But I think her default's cool. But if you like skins, you can go ahead and get that. You also get the sticker, the avatar, which is cool. If this really matters to you, you want to show off the fact that you bought a skin, and then you get this, which is cool. I don't think I've noticed that before. Maybe I just don't pay attention, but that is Lucretia. Let's go ahead and take a look at her Arena of Trials. I've not done that, as you can see. Let's go ahead and do an actual battle, since I have not used her. So let's put her in the back line, see how that goes. Let's put Flora here. There's not really any tanky people. Let's put the twins. Let's put Rowan. And then who's someone who's not going to do damage? I want to see if this would win and see if she can kind of pop off. Okay, she literally died instantly. Okay, let's try again. Let's put her in the front line to see if that makes a difference. That is really funny, though. Maybe I'll put her over here, since, you know, this is the big damage. Okay, so you can see she's kind of popping, boom. And she just literally killed everyone. Yeah. Let's do the replay one more time. Because I think that... Okay, so you can see here, she's going. Two of her allies are dead already. She's getting that buff. She just got her ultimate. She killed one. She's popping off to the people with the highest attack damage, which is Gwyneth and Belinda. She killed Belinda, and now she's going to Gwyneth after popping over here. And she killed them all. You know, you can see how she works. She gets that cycle going, and she just kind of pops off. But as you can see in the first play of that, she dies pretty easily, apparently. Or at least in that situation. So you can see had a lot of shielding, some good healing, and a ton of damage. Pretty fun hero, honestly. I like her a lot. I think she's fun. Let's go ahead and just take a look at here one more time so we can kind of look at her abilities a little bit more. We'll do ×2. You can see the skull is over the person that she's going for. She's got her ultimate, so she's kind of got her pink hair now. The skull, I believe, is the unit with the most attack damage that she's going to prioritize. So you can kind of see how she rolls. Boom. Yeah, she's fun. I like her. So where do you think Lucretia is good at? I would say campaign she'll be pretty solid at. Towers, if there was a Hypogene tower, she'd be good at, but you can obviously use her in the regular tower. Arena, probably pretty good. Yeah, Arena should be really solid, actually, as long as you can keep her alive. So you might have to kind of be good at her positioning, but Arena, she would be pretty solid if she's built out. And then Forked Fate, I mean, I think if you have her paired with someone that can help keep her alive or at least get her going, for sure be good in Forked Fate as well. And then I don't know if she'd be super good against like Guild Boss, but I think she'd be fine. Like she could be someone you could put in, but I don't think she's gonna be someone who's gonna be doing all the damage, because generally in Guild Boss, all your heroes aren't really dying, so she's not gonna get all those buffs. Dream Realm, situational. There's some where she might be good at, but generally probably not the best in Dream Realm. So I think Lucretia is someone who I really like her, but I think we'll have to wait a little bit to see if she's worth kind of spending your time cards or stargazing cards on her, rather. I really like her. I'm tempted to just kind of start saving up for her, but it just sucks. It takes so long if you haven't been saving up to this point. And I just, back in the day, she was super busted in a lot of different areas. And there's not a lot of changes except for that level 4 that I mentioned earlier, not existing. But we'll see. We'll see how strong she is as people start getting her, progressing with her. I think definitely worth considering, but at this point, I would hate to tell people that you for sure should buy her at this point. But that's my Lucretia overview video. Hopefully that was helpful with understanding her a little bit more, and thank you guys for watching. Have a great day. Peace.